This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the First 100 podcast. This is the podcast where we explore the journey of entrepreneurs, business owners, agency leaders, and so many more people as they share with us the challenges, the triumphs, and all of the situations that have led them to secure those first 100 customers. I'm very excited because today we have a very special guest, Jorge Ortiz. Hi, Jorge. How are you?
Hi, Daniela. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm very happy to have you on the podcast today. For all of the listeners and viewers who are not familiar with you, what you do, who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jorge, co-founder of Venditi.ai. Basically, what we are is an insurance technology platform. They call it InsurTech here in America. Basically, we help the insurance agents actually to QA their calls and sell more insurance. What we do is we take the summary, the transcripts of all their phone calls, we put it into a platform and actually create a follow-up email based on the conversation. And we nurture that client or prospect until the client responds. So we create kind of like a specialized insurance agent for the insurance agent, matter of fact, so they can actually be more effective. Many insurance agents up there, they are not doing a great job following up because they don't have the time. So we actually take that with our platform and help them to achieve more response rates and revenue growth. In fact, we have seen a lot of success with beta testers, and we're happy to keep scaling the business. On top of that, in a platform, you can also ask any questions regarding insurance, what is a policy type, how to insure your house, any type of regulations. We curated that information so they can actually train better and get the information for a reliable source. And that's the platform as of now.
That's amazing. I think for anybody who's worked in corporate, especially in sales and marketing, I think regardless of the industry, we can all say how time consuming and difficult it is to do a follow-up, not because it's hard, but because the more you get overloaded with work, the less time you have to do that, right? And if you have to send like a personalized email for every single person that you're following up with, it is difficult. So I think platforms like these can be really helpful for people who are, doing a lot of outbound and cold outreach.
Exactly. And a lot of our users, we found out that they're having a really hard time taking all the details. And sometimes you're talking to a client that doesn't have just only one property or one auto to insure. They have plenty of those, right? So it's very hard to keep every single details and every single situation. So our platform does a great job actually highlighting those key points and making sure everything is included in your notes and also in your follow-up email as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think when you talk to so many people, you forget the details and then you start mixing them up with other people. Like I've made really bad mistakes, especially early on in my working career where I would email a person and his name was John and I was calling him Jason. So bad.
Yeah.
Jorge, this leads me to my first question, which is what inspired you to actually found this company, Venditi AI? I mean, it's such a niche group, right? It's CRM for insurance companies. And it makes me wonder, what experiences did you have that made you realize that there was a gap in that market and that you could fill it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I need that problem. I used to work as an insurance agent, an insurance sales consultant as well for other insure tech companies and other startups. And I noticed that people had this problem following up, annotating properly the prospects and the clients. So once I quit my job, I decided to start solving this problem. We launched the beta in July uh, with a lot of actually users in a wait list, close to 100. And right now we have about 120 users constantly testing the platform. We're about to launch the version 2.0, by actually next week. So we're very excited about that as well.
So you guys are fairly new to the industry, right? So the podcast is called First 100, which makes me curious on how the journey has been so far to actually getting these 120 people you said you think
Yeah.
to work for you. When we talk to business owners, they always have really interesting stories of how they actually managed to jump that hurdle of getting people to sign up to their services or purchase their products. I'm curious what your experience has been with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first started to think about the idea, I'm not a technical person, so I went to ask a technical guy, hey, this is what we want to do, how we can do it. He already had some sort of experience about it. And we started actually putting together a whiteboard, right? At the time, I decided to also interview people on that matter. So I started to ask them questions. We weren't sure we were going to focus in insurance at the beginning. I was just trying to find a solution that helped me with the sales process. Because as you mentioned, I was getting overwhelmed with a lot of these calls, influx, trying to follow up. And it was a lot of work just for myself. So I either need to hire an assistant or actually make my job more efficient, right? And the tools up there, they were not catered to my specific needs. They will provide some sort of like summaries, AI notes, but they wouldn't have the sales aspect that I was looking for, especially for account executives and more specifically for insurance, right? So I interviewed people that were outside of the scope of insurance. I interviewed people that were in insurance as well. Both of them, they say they have a problem with follow-ups, and also they have a problem with keeping the right information, creating the information. So then we got into an accelerator called MAR, MARL in California, and they help us kind of like guide us to get more into the insurance aspect because they saw the power and the potential of our vertical. And because I knew people, I used to work with insurance agents before, uh, I tried to reach out to them directly so they can be my first cohort of beta testers. So that's how I got the first, I would say 10 to 20 beta users. I run a lot of customers interviews. And from there, they just start to refer people to our platform. And that's how we grew it to about 120. Uh, there's still some users that they don't work specifically in the insurance aspect, but they like our AI note taker in that sense. So they're still using us not for the purpose of insurance, but just more for the purpose of accuracy and information. And the majority of our users, they still using us mainly for the follow up and the sales aspect. So they love that in the insurance uh, industry. As well, they use a platform to, as I mentioned, gather any kind of information, intention policies, or specific information that they want to extract from the phone call. So they help us with deliverabilities and any quality assurance that they may have coming up in the future, right? One key aspect of our platform compared to the other ones is that it's very easy to search information and actually gather that specific information that you're looking for. We're having this phone call, Daniela, and I want to ask a specific question, like when did Daniela ask me when the company was founded? It would tell me the exact minute what I answered, everything there. So in that case, it helps a lot with actually review process or any type of policies revision that they would like to do. It, it used to take maybe 20, 30 minutes to do so. Now it would take just seconds. So that is a big time savings for the clients. I think you're muted.
You were muted.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, no, I think that that's very, very helpful because like having to search for something, like when I film these podcasts, sometimes I'll have to go in and search for a specific part of the conversation. And like you said, manually, it takes me so long to like try to figure out what minute I asked the question and when the person answered what I wanted to answer. And
Yeah.
having like a system that could just do that for me would be amazing. Um, yeah, which actually you mentioned speaking and interviewing people who were outside of the insurance business, right? Which makes me wonder if in the future, do you want to expand to other industries and offer your services to other industries, or are you focusing on the insurance industry as your key strength?
I think at our stage, which is we are a pre-seed company, it's good to um, focus in a vertical. In the future, I don't know how long it would take me to get there. I want to focus a lot in the Spanish speaking country, especially in product management, and also help with the claims management here in America. I think here the market is very competitive. We have 5 or 6 big competitors up there, but it's not a clear winner. So that's why we've picked a vertical so we can be the dominant player in this kind of vertical. The other markets that we see into expand is more like onboarding and training in insurance and also claim management in insurance. From more that the Latin community, we're thinking of being like helping with product management and engineering, DevOps. We can be the dominant player in those Spanish speaking countries because the competition is, I wouldn't say it's non existent, but there are less players in that market.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lower amount of companies that are doing this in Latin America.
Yeah.
So I think you guys would be able to help a lot of people. I actually wanted to ask you about AI, which is, a huge thing that you
Mhm.
guys are doing. It's obviously in the recent few years, it's sort of blown up the usage of AI as it's growing and it becomes more integrated into things like sales and CRMs and marketing and other industries and niches and things like that. I'm curious, how do you guys ensure that there is ethical use, especially when it comes to personalization, predictive analytics, which is like a lot of the things that you do. And I think a lot of the concerns that are being raised now that AI is sort of growing so much.
Yeah, good question. So the way how we design our platform, and I know you mentioned something a little bit about this in the beginning about a CRM. We are not a CRM. We actually empower your CRM. So we sync with your CRM. So we don't contain all the sensitive information. What we focus more is like the outcome aspects, right? You're having a conversation with an insurance agent because you want to get a quote or get a policy or you have a questions regarding your current coverage, right? And we focus all the conversations and efforts into that. So we cannot like lure or don't cannot record any type of sensitive information like in the United States will be more like social security or credit card numbers and stuff like that. We train the model not to perceive that information into our transcripts whatsoever. So that information will always have some sort of like blur. It will be non-existent pretty much. And in terms of like a platform, when you ask them something about the conversation, we try to be as exact as possible and take it actually from the conversation itself. So you will see the transcript and you will see the minutes of where that happens. So you can easily replay that and make sure the quality assurance is there, right? You can corroborate that. Um, in terms of security and so on, we build a platform to actually partner with bigger players, with Google and Microsoft. So that is the only way you can actually get access to a platform. You need to have some sort of Gmail account or Outlook account uh, as a corporate email, as your personal email. So you can, that prevents a lot of like cybersecurity issues at the time of login. And a platform is also, we just were finishing these policies about security. And we also are looking into get more like a insurance in that regard. Make sure we have the right softwares to prevent any type of information leaking. But the way how it's structured from the get go is not to get any type of private information whatsoever. We use a Stripe as a payment processor, so Stripe is very secure in that regard. So we don't um, capture any information on the login because Google or Microsoft takes care of that. We don't capture any credit card information because Stripe takes care of that. And we train the model to not capture any type of sensitive information. The only sensitive information we're capturing is like where you live because you need to have those kind of address, especially with the property and casualty insurance, age, sometimes work and stuff like that. But that is also public available information if you're willing to look hard enough. But we don't capture any kind of like identity numbers or credit card information. Um, it's just how we decided to go out platform. It's an enhancement for to help the agent not to create a hassle. And that's what we decided not to do a CRM because there were a lot of players already in the market. It's easier for us to integrate with the CRM, and the CRM has more protection to actually safeguard that information as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And actually, that brings me to my other question, which was more on the legal side, especially with how laws are very contentious right now with data, with like all of the stuff that's happening. How has that been for you to navigate when you were setting up the company? Did that change the way that you were, doing your business model? Did it influence the stuff that you were doing, or has it been pretty simple to sort of get through that?
Yeah, that's interesting because a lot of people ask me that. It comes back to the idea that we're not a CRN or we don't want to help with the policy management whatsoever. So we don't uh, capture any of that information. What we simply do, we're a communication tool that help you to boost your sales and ensure that all your calls follow the compliance of the industry. For example, many insurance agents, they need to say that this will be a recorded line, kind of like when you call a bank. So we ensure that happening in a platform as well. And we kind of like flag the call if that doesn't happen. Right. At the same point, we flag how many questions were asked and how many questions were answered to ensure the client and our users know where to take the next phone call, right? It could be that you leave a few questions hanging there that you couldn't take notes. So basically, that's where we make the efforts to ensure the client and the user has a very, very great experience. We meant to be your assistant, and in a sense, the assistant doesn't handle the sensitive information. We leave that to your carrier or to the CRM that you're using. So from the get go, we built it to actually evade any type of legal problems because when I was doing this job, the CRM, usually companies, they will build their own type of like security system and CRM tools. So and ways to handle the policies um, or IDC management systems, and I can go on and go on, but they already have an infrastructure. So all I needed is more help with the sales process, not actually handling the information, but following up and ensure once I talk to this client, I can easily find the information or pick up on the last phone call. And sometimes the note taking tools that we're using that were not affected. So that's why we decided to build something specifically for this. And it could be something like client called back. She's asking for the two properties located in X. He wants an answer by this date, and he wants to know if we can go between this price range, right? And sometimes I would not take price range talking in 2 days, right? So it's easier to get misleading answers based on those kind of like summaries. So that's why we decided to build this in to be more specific. And if I wanted to re-listen to the call and get a quick summary, I can just easily click that. And a platform is designed actually to be more vertical integrated in that sense. right? All the competition per se, they will be so focused and give you the whole summary. A platform, what is that? Is give you the focus in that insurance aspect that you're looking mainly for sales in that regard. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I
Mhm.
do think that tools like yours can be very helpful for a lot of industries. So I do hope that you continue growing and hopefully one day reach marketing if and design, which is what we do, because I know that we could also use a tool like this in for sure.
Yeah,
So
for sure. It would be great.
Jorge, it's been great having you today. Before I let you go, though, I do have a game prepared for us. It's a rapid fire. So, I have 20 questions. They're not about business. They're not about work. They're just funny questions. I'm gonna set up a 1 minute timer, and we're gonna see how many we can get through. The guest that has gotten the most questions is 13 questions. Nobody has ever gotten through 20. So let's see if we can get you to get through 20.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Early bird or night owl?
early bird,
Favorite social media platform?
Twitter, or X.
Go to karaoke song?
Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Books or podcasts?
Books.
One word that describes you?
Oh, that is a hard one. Positivity.
Dream vacation destination?
Maybe Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Most used app on your phone?
Nowadays, LinkedIn.
Favorite emoji?
The Rocket.
Hidden talent?
I think a lot while I'm watching a movie. I don't know why.
Go to comfort food?
Uh, Burrito.
We're done.
How many we got? 12?
11. 11.
Okay. All right.
Not bad, not bad. So you did pretty well. A lot of people get stuck with the karaoke song, but you did not. You got stuck with the word that describes you.
Yeah, yeah. It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, no, but you did great. Thank you so much for doing this, Jorge. Now, I want to give you the space to introduce to our followers and our viewers to your company. If there's anybody that is listening or watching this that needs your services or that would want to talk to you, or if you're looking for employees, I don't know, whatever, you are welcome to plug whatever you want to plug right now. The floor is yours.
Yeah, yeah. You can check it out at Venditi.ai. We have two kind of versions: the AI agent that's focused in the summaries, notes taking, and actually analyzing video calls. And if you're into insurance, of course, we have the Venditi insurance platform that would cater more to sales agents, brokers, or any type of person that works in insurance that wants to get better uh, on it and actually creates better communications and pretty much have a better experience with their users or prospects or future clients. We are willing to help. We are launching also a free version next week. And so you can test it as long as you want. And if you decided to buy it, that would be great. And you get to work with a great team, which is just starting to solve this problem.
Amazing. Yes. I will be adding the links to the description of this video for anybody that is watching. And if you are listening, go to the video for the links. Thank you so much for doing this, Jorge. And everyone else, I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you, Daniela. Take care.
Bye.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.